Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we start with today's video, I would like to thank everyone for taking out their time and watching my videos and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Now we are a family of 200 plus subscribers. Without your love and support, this would not be achievable. Thank you once again for providing your suggestions and improvements to improve my content and make such videos for you. In today's video, we are going to basically continue talking about some more commands which will help you to learn Linux and automate your day-to-day stuff by writing a small shell scripts. So let's get started without any delay. So friends, let me walk through a small presentation where I'm going to basically walk you through certain commands which we are going to have a demo session in today's video, as well as we will be touching base more parameters related to the top command in depth, as well as we will be drilling down on more parameters on the find command as well. So the first command here which we are going to discuss is the head. As the name suggests, head is basically used to read the file from the beginning, and here are some of the options, or I would say the parameters which you can use while you're using the head command. So the first is -n, which basically gives you the first n number of lines. The C is basically used to give you the number of characters or the bytes, and -q is to basically print the content of one or more files without mentioning the file name in the output. We will go through this, don't worry. And the last option which we have is -v, or a verbose. It is basically used to print the content of one or more files by mentioning the file name in the output. That's the difference between -q and -v. Moving to our next command here is the tail command. As the name suggests, it basically reads the last 10 lines of the file, and it has all the same options or parameters which we have gone through in our previous slide related to the head. All is one more option in the tail which we have is -f, or we call it as a follow, and it's used to monitor the log entries written by running commands. We will go through this, don't worry, in our demo session. Moving to the next commands, we have who am I. As the name suggests, it basically used to print the username of the ID. It's in simple words, it's basically print the name of currently logged in user. Who who is another command utility which we have, which basically gives you the list of currently logged in users. Okay, we have another command called as a finger, and it's basically used to give you an information about the user. Moving to our next command which we have is tr, which is called as a translate, and this command is basically used to remove the repeated characters or converting upper to lower or vice versa, or it also helps you to basically replace or remove the characters. So the first option we have here is -s, and it is basically used to skews the repeats. The second option we have lower and upper, and we will basically go through this. The third option we have is something called as a digit, and it's used to basically print the digits. -c option is basically to replace the characters that are not in set 1. We will go through a demo of this soon. At the next option we have is -d. As the name suggests, it's basically used to delete the characters, and -t is basically trunking the characters. We will go through the difference between -d and t in our demo session. Moving to the next one, we have something called as more, and as the name suggests, it's basically helps you to view the text files or the other output in the scrollable manner. Sometimes in when you have a log file which is more than 1 gig and lots of things have been written in the file, rather than using a cat command, you would like to go use the more command to go through the content of the file one by one, and that's where the more command help us. The next one, we have something called as a less command, and it's basically used to display the context one page at a time. We will go through the difference between more and less in our demo session. Moving to the next and important command in Unix is the uniq command, which is uniq, and it's used to basically remove your duplicate lines from the file, and it has certain options. -c, which is basically used to print the number of representing how many times that record has occurred. -d is basically to print the duplicate lines, and capital -d is basically to print all the duplicate lines. We will see the difference between these two in the upcoming demo session. Moving to the next one, and important, is -u, which is basically used to print the unique lines. Moving to the next important command in which is mostly used with unique is the sort. As the name suggests, it's basically used to sort your files or sorting the lines of the text file, and it has certain options in it. We will go through one by one those options in our demo session. To demonstrate the user session, I'm going to basically use the AWS Cloud Shell. And to get the access to the Cloud Shell, you need to have an AWS account. And once you are logged into AWS account, you just need to go to AWS Management Console, and on the right side you will see the Cloud Shell, which I have already opened in my screen, right? So this is the cloud shell is provided by AWS, where you can execute the PowerShell commands and the shell commands. So I have already prepared the terminal, and let's go with our demo. So first command here is pwd to see what is our current directory, and that's what it gives it, /home /cloud shell -user. Now the next command which we have learned today is who am I. So when I type this, it gives me the name of the current user logged in. And in our case, it is Cloud Shell -user. Moving to the next command, we have something called as a who, which displays how many users are logged in currently to this terminal, or who all are logged into this terminal and what are they doing. So if I type who, it does not display me anything here. Sometimes on some versions, the who command works. On some versions of Linux, it does not work. So we have an alternative called as w. The moment we type that, it gives you the user TTY, which is terminal, from where, what is the login name, idle, what is the percentage of CPU, and what it is doing. In our case, we do not have any users logged into this terminal, so that's why we are not seeing any output. Let's move to another important command called as top, and this time we are going to go into the depth of the top, understanding each and every stuff of it. So the moment I type top, it displays me the window where it shows me how long this server has been up and running, right? So it says me 2 hours 37, right? So that is nothing but 2 days 38, whatever. uh, then we have number of users logged in, what is the load average, tasks, how many tasks are currently running. So in this, there are 3 tasks total running, and one is in the running state, 2 is in the sleeping, 0 are stopped, 0 is zombie. Now let's see the percentage. So US means the user, how much percentage of CPU the users are utilizing, how much percentage of system is utilizing the CPU, which is SY in this case. Nice value. I will go through this. How does nice value affects the priority of your process, right? ID means the idle time. How much is the idle time? In our case, it's 96%. WA is the waiting time. Now let's move to another important stuff is memory and the swap. So how much physical memory is available, how much is free, how much is used, and how much we have in the swap memory available to be used for. Moving to the next one, we have PID, which is a process ID. Then we have something called as a user. We have the priority, we have the nice, we have VRIT, which is a virtual memory. RES is the non swap memory, which is your physical memory. SHR is the shared memory, right? And then we have percentage, CPU percentage, memory, time, and the command. So let's go through some of the shortcuts to the top command by which you can use by using your keyboard. So on the keyboard, the moment you type Z, the color font changes. So there are situations where you want your your top command to be displaying the current format, and that's where you use the Z key on your keyboard. So the moment I type that, it displays the current format. If I want to come out of the color format, I will use again use a Z key. Now I want to basically change the value of nice and the priority. So to do that, you need to type or press R. So moment I press R, it says PID to read nice. So let's change the priority of 14891 process ID, and let's change it to 50 and see what happens. So the moment we change this, the nice value affects the priority of your process, and you have seen that now it has changed to 35 priority and the nice value is 15. Now let's let's display this all process ID with all the headings, right? So to do that, you need shift a on your keyboard. The moment you type that, it displaces you in the heading format which you want for each of your processes to be displayed. And if you see, uh, there is the one df, that is nothing but a definition. Tomorrow if I want to sort it using the job, again I will press uh, a on the keyboard, then it is on the job. I want on memory. If I want on user, again I need to press a. That's what it is. To come out of this format, you need to again press shift a, and that's what you have now come out from that format, right? So tomorrow you do not want the memory to be displayed in the top command. You need to press M twice. And the moment you press M twice on your keyboard, the memory gets vanished and it will not get display on the top. And if you want once again that memory to be displayed, press M and you are back. Similarly, there is T to hide your tasks, and that's what. And if you press again T, the tasks would be again displayed in the top command. So the default refresh rate of your top is 3, and if I want to change that, I need to press T on my keyboard, and the moment I change press this, it asks me to change the refresh rate from 3 seconds to whatever we want. Say if we want to 1, we just change it to 1. So after every 1 second, your top command will get refreshed. Let's keep it back to original by typing D again, and we are back to our original stuff. To come out of this top command, you need to press Ctrl C and you are back to your terminal. And let's now clear the screen. Let's continue to our next important command, which is head and tail. To demonstrate that, I have created a file called as cat tst1.txt, and if you see, it has certain lines written into it. Welcome to line number 1, 2, 3, and up to 11. So the moment I type head, you see it displaces only the first 10 lines to me, and that's what it does, right? So if I want to get display only first 5 lines, what I will do is head minus n plus 5 test minus 1, and that's how you see the first 5 lines getting display, right? And if you type minus 5 here, you see the change in it, right? So it will basically eliminate the last 5 lines and it will display the first 5 lines. So in our case, we had 11 lines. 11 minus 5 is 6. So it will display you the first 6 lines of it. So if I change this to 2, see, it displaces you the 9 lines. So 11 minus 2, 9. That's what it displaces. So you be the on the toes to get differentiate between plus 5 and minus sign when using with head. Now let's move to another important command called as tail. So the moment I type tail, you see it displays me the last 10 lines. So in our file we have test1.txt and we have 1 2 3 up to 11, but when we do tail, it basically displays starting from number 2 to number 11, which is the 10 lines, right? So now if I want to display the last 2 lines of the file, to test this, and it displaces me 10 and 11th line. So let's see, if I type here minus 2, what does it does? And it displaces me the same, but if I type plus 2, let's see what happens, right? So if the moment I type here plus 2, it starts displaying me from the line number 2 up to line number 11, the last the 10 lines starting from that. If I type here plus 3, let's see, it again starts displaying me from the line number 3 onwards. So there is a vast difference between using plus 3 in the head versus the plus 3 using in the tail, right? So you should be well familiar with it. So I hope this demo help you to distinguish between how to use tail and head when you're dealing with your file. Now let's create a file, another file called as test dot, and I have, so if I see head test1 txt and head test2.txt, it displaces me all the first 10 lines. But if you see, it displaces me the file name also. So to not get that file name, I will use head minus q test1 and test2.txt. So that's how now the file name is not displaying, and it does displays you the contents of it. So that's what is difference between head minus q. Now if I type head minus v and the file name, and if you see, it displays me the file name along with the content. So that's what is the difference between head minus v and head minus q, which is quite. Let's create one more file for our next command demo. So we have a file which has two columns, number and the key. So number is, take any number and the value of that number is the key, right? 10. So now I want to sort this on the numerical stuff, right? So I will use something called as test tag dot test dot, and I will type here sort minus n. The moment I type that, it displays me in the numerical order, right? So that's what it is. So now if I want to display the numerical order based on column 2, let's see what it displaces. So if you see, it has basically sorted on the numerical value on the column number 2. And how to use that? Using minus k, right? And that's what 1, 10, 20, 30, and the stuff, right? It has sorted that. Tomorrow I want to sort it on the first column in the numerical. I have k minus k1. So if you see, it has sorted us in the numerical order based on the column which we have specified. Now I want in the reverse way. All I will do is R, right? So R is basically sorting it into a descending order, and that's what we have done. So, right, so I hope you got an understanding how to use sort based on the column and based on the numerical factor, right? Now let's get to another stuff, right, with the sort. So I am editing a file, and I'm typing here again 10. Okay, and I'm typing here the same value. Let's see. Let's remove this. If you see, we have 10 two times displayed. Now I want only once the 10 to be displayed, but only the unique values to be displayed. So I will use sort minus n minus u, and this will basically give you only the unique values, right? So minus u stands for unique. Okay, let's move to another important command called as uniq. And for that, let me demonstrate this file, and let me just, let me create. So we have created a file called as test4, right? And now let me just remove this. So in this file, we have two times 10 repeated, and let's see what will the output display when we use unique. If you see, the test for the unique command has displayed once the 10, which is repeated twice. If I execute unique minus u, what would be the output, do you think? it will not display you the 10 because the 10 is repeated twice, and that's what minus u is used to display only the unique values. You can use sort, okay, and then you can use unique minus u. And if you see, you have sorted the file first and then you're using unique minus u. If I remove u, it will this, and if I remove u, it gives you the 10, right? So that's what the first, it has sorted the file in numerical order and then it's just giving us a unique value. Now let's get only the duplicate values, and if we see, we get the duplicate value 10 because that's what is duplicated twice, right? And if I use minus p, it gives me the duplicate value, how many times it has occurred in the file, right? And it displays all those lines with a duplicate value, right? Now I want to count how many times each number has been repeated in the file or occurred in the file. I will use unique minus c, and that's what it gives. If you see, we have got one once, 10 two times, two ones, and rest is one, right? So that's how you can use unique and the sort command together to get the desired output what you are looking for. Right, now let's learn something called as a mode.txt. So more command is basically used to display you the more content, right, of the file, and that's what it does, right? When I use less command, okay, it displays is page by page, and that's why you see the end after the less, right? Because after that nothing is there, but if you would have more content, it would have displayed you, right? To come out of this prompt, you need to just type q, and that's what it tells you, right? Now let's see another important command called as wc. And what does that means? W count. When I type wc test1.txt, it displays me some numbers. So there are 11 lines, um, 288 characters, and 44 words, right? So that's what it would be. So now when I type wc minus l, it gives me the line number, which are 11 lines. When I type wc minus c, it gives me that there are 288 characters, right? When I type wc minus w, it gives me 44 words are there, right? When I type wc minus m, it gives me the same output what the wc gives me. So wc minus c and wc minus m gives us the same output because those are counting the characters in it, right? That's how you can use wc in your day-to-day stuff, right? So there are other options also if you want, right? That's if you want to use, you can basically use it. You're most welcome. That's what I would say. uh, what else is pending? Let's see. Okay, tr. So we all are almost at the end of our session and the last command, which is the tr command. So let's learn and see a demo session for that. So I have a file called as test1.txt, and in that I have welcome to line number written in small letters except w. Now I want all to be converted to upper letter. I will use cat test1.txt tr A to Z, right? And then I will use brackets open, capital A dash capital Z, and bracket close. And if you see, it has displayed me the output, everything from lower converted to an uppercase. And suppose if I have like this written open curly brackets welcome and open curly brackets close. Now I want the curly brackets to be replaced with the open brackets, right? So I will use this, and at the same time I want welcome to be converted to a smaller letter. So this is where you will use the command, and you see the it's converted to the small case welcome, and our curly brackets are replaced with the open and close brackets. So now there is another stuff. So this is 5,000, and now you want to replace 5,000 with 2,000. So this is the command which gives you that, and this now is 5,000, right? I want to now just this remove the 5,000 from my echo statement minus d, and I will use something called as digit, and that's it basically removes the 5,000 from your echo command. Now I just want the digit to be available and rest this to be deleted. I will use minus C, and that's where it just gives me the digit and removes the characters from the echo command. Let's move to tr minus s. We have an echo jnu space. Let's have Linux red hat, right? And now I want to use this space. What I will use minus s, and then I will use space, and this how you get an output. Now I want this space to be replaced with something called as dash, right? So let's do that. And if you see, you get an output what you wanted. Now I want this space to be replaced with new line, right? I will use, and now you see GNU, Linux, and Red Hat is there on the new line. Now let's use this same, and I want, so I have this, and I want n to be deleted, right, from Linux and GNU. So all I will use is minus d and n, and if you see now the n is deleted. If I want that to be replaced with j, i I can do that. Just need to remove minus d, and n would be replaced with j. I hope you got an understanding of how to use tr in your day-to-day stuff. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful and helping you to get more closer to learn the shell script and become a master in it. If you have liked this content, kindly do like and subscribe, and definitely do not forget to comment, because your input helps me to improve my content and motivate me to make such videos. Until then, take care. Bye bye.